Welcome back to the Tracy Trendy Show, my lovelies. Another day, another dollar, and another get down to get to this deep down, low down scrubbing of life after lockup. My loves, we got to get this really clean till it shimmers. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer. That's the word of the episode because there was a lot of fighting. A lot of fighting in this episode. In fact, Shavel and Quaylon's parents were fighting last week, and the next episode they're fighting again. It continues. Those wenches were screaming and got little Malia out there just distraught. So Calandria, that is Quaylon's mom, she apologized to Shavel for her part in this whole melee. And in fact, she said she want to excuse her for the wedding because she don't want to continue the toxicity. And then Shavel has a talk with her mother. Her mother's name is Sylvia. And she tells her mom that she's disappointed in the melee because it happened in front of her own daughter, Malia. And Sylvia says Quaylon ain't no good. And she said what she said, and she's going to do her. Now, Quaylon thinks Sylvia is the problem. And he also said that some people need to watch the wedding on Zoom. And Shavel just thinks that everybody needs to shimmer down. Shimmer, shimmer, shimmer down. Now, moving on to Joy and Red. Now, Joy is wondering where is this prized possession? You know, the PlayStation, not the little boy Sway. It's the PlayStation. That's what Red said he was gonna leave behind. If he gonna leave it behind, he coming back for it. So anyway, in one jail scene, Red is reminiscing with his jail cellie about, the good old days in the pokey. Right in the pokey. And his little jail cellie tells him how he hooked up Red with Joy so Red could have some money on his books. Mm-hmm. And they all giggle, giggle, giggle. And Red cleaned it up a little bit and said that, you know what, I fell in love with Joy and all of that, swindling. And we have another scene where Red tells his family that he's engaged and ready to be married because he's just 30. 30. And he feels as if it's time. But his sisters questions if he's really ready. And in the meantime, we have Joy wondering when he's coming back. And she tells the family he hasn't checked in on them at all. He just left them in the lurch. And her sister wonders if he's over there seeing other women. And all Joy said is that she can't trust him. She can't trust him. So out of the blue, out of all that discussion, he calls her for the first time and tells her he's coming home and that he loves her. And he does come home. Mm-hmm. He comes home all right. First thing comes out of her mouth is, were you with women? Now, is this the kind of relationship you want where you got to say, are you with women? That's the first thing pop in your head. But anyway, she also tells him that she wants honesty, and she wants to be able to trust him. And she wants him to hold a job. He says, wow. So, I'll tackle him a little bit by bit. She said, I need some of that stuff to happen immediately. And, her wish was granted. Red granted her wish and gave her honesty and told her he done hooked up with the homie, Side Tooth Julie. Well, he didn't say who the homie was, but we all know it was Side Tooth. Actually, missing Side Tooth Julie. Now, moving on to Lindsey and Blaine. Now, this is pulling on Lindsey out here crying, and I don't see a tear, but let's pretend like this is a real storyline. But Molly ain't too happy about this wedding. Not too many people are. And anyway, I'm not saying it was cool to include kids in this whole argument because Molly said Blaine was including her in the argument, talking about the mama and, whatever. He pulled in other people in. He called in Lindsey's grandmother too and told her about Lindsey. So I'm not saying it's cool to include others into this mess. But, Lindsey's all worried and mad that he was talking to Miley about their situation. I would be more upset that Blaine is busting up in my daughter's room. Okay? Yeah. Looking at the video, it wasn't as dicey as that. But anyway, arguing almost every day is a no green light to get married. I just think Blaine was just frustrated. He was running through the house frustrated, busting through all doors. And I also feel like Lindsey feels, you know what? She has the short term memory because she doesn't remember how Blaine was there for her, and she's saying blah blah blah. I do, I do, I do, I do. She had like this man was drowning puppies or something. He was just basically venting his frustrations. My goodness. Moving on to Mike and Justine. Whew, this is crazy now. Now, Mike's mom wants to move in during the summer to help out with the baby, and Mike has to think about it. I mean, those are his kids, right? He's missing out. He already missed 6 years. What do he's got to think about? And then so they come over, and Melanie, his oldest daughter, is asking, can she move with them to Vegas? And his answer was like, He hemmed and hawed about it. Basically, he's saying he needs her there to go continue raising her siblings, aka his kids, because he doesn't want to piss off Justine. I'm like, would you quit breaking these kids' heart on TV? Now, in the meantime, in the between time, I'm gonna give you guys a little tea. Melanie is living with Mike and Justine in Vegas. All right, there's the tea. So he has two of his oldest kids living in Vegas. The other two young ones, the hell with them. All right, the hell with them. Moving on to Sara and Shawn. All right. Now, Shawn is trying to teach Sara some of the tricks of the trade of towing, and they get in a discussion about finance. And she thinks Shawn spends too much money. But honey, you got boobs and a tummy tuck, and you're asking for a BBL. You were asking for that a few episodes ago. Now, at least Shawn wants to buy something that can make them some money. Now, that is just one little thing that they discuss that, that's something. But the biggest bone of contention is that Sara, in her infinite wisdom, thinks that he wants her to learn this tow business, get that second truck to bring in more money for Kelly. Because she feels as if the 1K a month that they are sending out for his kids is enough. And she thinks she's using some of the money. She thinks Kelly's using some of the money for herself, not just solely for the kids. And those are 4 kids living in Arizona, a western state. All right, things are not cheap. And anyway, I'm like, does she really know how expensive it is out? I think they live in Arizona. It's more expensive than the flyover state that they're living in. I'm just saying. And the cherry on top comes when Shawn reveals that you know what? He hasn't been really paying child support in a few months. He's been paying on that truck. And Sara, you know what? Can take several seats because Shawn is supporting her child that she's had with Anthony, her baby dad. All right, he doesn't have to put a roof over that child's head, but he does. And he's not really taking care of her. His own kids are going without. Either way, she needs to take several seats. Okay, Sara, you got a boob job. You got a tummy tuck, and you're on your way to a BBL. That's what you asked for a few episodes ago. All right? And you're not working, but he's taking care of you and yours. I think you need to take several seats. And I just can't wait till he drops the bomb and say, hey, I ain't been paying child support. Okay, let's find out what happens then. All right, let's move it on to Key-Rock and Brittany. Finally, there's a family reunion. Brittany gets to see her abuela that she hasn't seen in 6 years. Plus, she meets up with her uncle and cousin, and they have no problems accepting her and Key-Rock. The sad part is that they didn't get to spend too much time visiting. And I think it would have been nice if Brittany stayed behind to enjoy her family. But I also want to know, who in the heck goes to see their grandma in a nude suit? I mean, really? Really? Now let's do this part of the end of the show. We talk about the winners and the losers. The winners and the losers. Okay. Shavel and Quaylon, who are the winners and the losers? All right. I will say, well, Quaylon's mom's not coming to the wedding, so Quaylon's losing. But there's not going to be a really wedding. There's not going to be a wedding anyway, but Joy and Red. Okay, this is a no-brainer. Joy is losing, Red is winning. So that one win that the non-cons got because Quaylon lost is, Red picked it up. So we're tied 1-1. Lindsey and Blaine. Lynn's going off. I think Blaine is really stressed, and he's the one that's really losing. Not Lindsey. Lindsey's feeling so entitled. So I'm going to say Blaine is losing. So we're 2-1 cons. Mike and Justine. Mike is winning. It's Mike's world. He's trying to blame, Justine. Gotta ask Justine. No, it's all about him and his little rap career, really. So I'm going to say Mike is winning. So we're at 3-1 cons. Sara and Shawn. Sara got Shawn by the balls, and we know she winning. She got all this plastic surgery, so we're at 4-1 cons. Kay and Brittany. That's interesting. I think Brittany is winning. But she didn't really get to spend much time with Abuela. But even though Kate, you know what? He won too because he feels accepted to her family. So there you have it. That's a draw for them. The cons win as usual. I've never had an episode where the non-cons win. All right, my loves. That's it in a nutshell. You know what you got to do. You got to drop a line below in the comment section. You have to subscribe as well as hit that notification bell as well. And make sure you get this tea and this one-of-a-kind commentary. All right, my loves, I'm going to catch you all out on the flip side.